Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the main event 146. We were interviewing Daniel Berman today and delighted to have him with us. Has a lot of experience in video production, both 2D and 3D, and now he's added AI to that mix of what he's doing. And it's going to be interesting to see how he's incorporated that and how he's made that transition. We will turn the mic over to you very shortly, but first, as always, I go through the news of the week on AI news. I've started following a fellow that I'm going to recommend everybody follow, Eugerio Ferrio. I believe he's in the same location as you, Guido. He posts news all the time. Every day he's posting news. So in the comments for this event, where I always post various news things, there are several things there from Eugenio. New storyboard capabilities just announced by LTX, light sticks. Free Pix, new 360-degree camera from One Image. 11 Labs just released Scripts V2 if you produce transcripts, subtitles, or captions. Upscale and deblurring from Huggy Face. Responsive avatars. Also on avatars, Google Vids just leveled up AI avatar power by VO 3.1. And Midjourney 8 is coming. All of these things are from Eugenio. So do follow this guy. A couple more things. Angel Lorenzo de la Rosa posted about FreePix evolution of characters over time. And the demo shows a child growing in various stages up to old age. Very interesting and well done. And I believe he started with in the middle from actually some movie star woman. Fatini's latest SREF drop. Halem Ashari has a video workflow and prompt that I thought were very interesting. So I always try to put in workflow items in the comments because we can all benefit from seeing those things. That's what I have in the comment section. Hey, June Chow is here. June, tell Daniel what time it is where you are right now.
It's 1 a.m.,
What?
1:10 a.m.
So
over here.
that's the kind of dedication we get from people, Daniel. I always love to see you, June.
Thanks for having
In
me.
case you don't know, June is just a spectacular architect in Malaysia and does tremendous stuff for everybody on LinkedIn. Much love to you, June. Okay, so Daniel, I'd like you to give us a little of your background and tell us about your work experience and then this transition into AI. And of course, we'd like to see as many samples of your work as you're able to show us. I turn the floor over to you.
Awesome. Can you guys hear me okay? Hello, everybody,
Yep.
Malaysia, around the world. Al, thanks for having me over to talk with this group of people. I've been following, your other main events, and I'm just honored to be here because you tapped some really awesome people. But just to give some background on myself, I was I was raised in Atlanta, Georgia. Um, when I was a kid, my brother used to beat the living piss out of me, and I was upset with him. But he did get a subscription to Mad Magazine, and I started reading it voraciously, and fell in love with comics and cartoon and satire. And I was really into my holy trinity is, Weird Al, Mad Magazine, and Saturday Night Live. So comedy has been really like a big inspiration for me, like my whole life. Um, and so my career has been me following comedy. I did stand up for a while. I'm an improv comedian, but my career has taken me to all of the awesome comedy places. But I have been doing not creative work there. So I started my career at Cartoon Network, which is appropriate because there's cartoons and comedy. But I was in market research. I was so talented as an animator and illustrator, they put me in market research. And then from over there, I went to HBO, and I was so funny that they put me in on-air planning, which designs the commercial breaks in between the movies. I went to PBS, which has great comedy in part, and I would sell TV shows to stations all over the country. I worked at Saturday Night Live as a PA, and then eventually as a visual effects supervisor. So I was in that comedy world. I also worked at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, which is a famed improv theater in New York owned by Amy Poehler, for about 18 years. I did the Sunday night show. We worked with everyone from Robin Williams to Chevy Chase and everybody up and down. So I was in the world. I was adjacent to it. I was in the green room. I was in the hallways, and that was a wealth of information. But so that's the comedy aspect of my background. I also, as a career, have started producing. So I'm an executive producer at agencies and post houses all over New York City. I specialize in animation and post because I'm not a big fan of live action. I do it, and I have done it. I have a young family, so I know if I do live action, I'll be traveling the world, which I have done, which my wife doesn't like all the time. So I've been working at all the biggest agencies and specializing in animation and post. And now taking a step backwards, going back to Mad Magazine, which I kind of jumped off for comedy, I would be tracing the comic books, Mad, forever, and I was really crappy at it. And arguably, I still am crappy, but whatever. And so I would just doodle. Anytime I sit down, I would doodle. And I'm going to start sharing my screen if that's all right, Al. So I'm just going to kind of just go down a bunch of drawings, bunch of doodles. That's what most of my works, just anytime I'm at a piece of paper, I started cutting them out because it wasn't enough to have them on paper. There's a lot of traits and characteristics. Hey, that guy's naked. A lot of my eyes are sad and droopy. The cheekbones are defined. So I draw tons of stuff, but there are through lines. It's more. But I was always drawing. In fact, my parents, I grew up in Marietta, Georgia. They gave me the garage when I was 7 years old, meaning that they were like, you can draw all over the garage. And at 7 years old, I decided that one day a year I would be able to draw. That means from 12:01 to 11:59, I could make a edit, later in the afternoon or whatever. But after that 24-hour period, that year was done. So from age 7 to when my parents sold the house when I was 26, you see quite an evolution over the years. I think they got worse, but whatever. But actually, when my parents sold the house, they took down the drywall and they gave it to me, which was really cool of them. Not always the most supportive parents, mom and dad, if you're watching, but that was really cool. So essentially, I am a self-taught illustrator and animator. I think we're going to do this a little bit backwards now. I think that I want to show a couple of my pieces of work so people have some context, and we'll go from there, if that's okay. Okay, so let me know if you can't hear this, but here's the first reel that I did. All of my work is based on my doodles, my drawings, and I bring them into different genres, styles, and that's what I'll say before showing the first one.
I need to lay down, only just got up. I feel so uninspired, I feel like giving up. I feel like someone has punched me in the guts, but I kinda like it 'cause it feels like being alive. 'cause it feels like being in the light.
1, 2, 3, 4! I declare a thumb war!
That is kind of an example of the work that I have been doing. Here is a little illustration. You guys can see this?
Yep.
So as I said, I've been doodling forever. And what I've done here is put together my drawings and then where I ended up. So you can see all the me's are me, hand-drawn. And all the AIs are AI. So me, myself, and AI. Just to show you a little bit more of the process. And as you saw in that reel, there are tons of different styles. I want to show one more, and then I'm going to get back into it, talking a little bit more.
Hi there.
Got it.
Hi there.
Well, that did not go well. Hi there. Hello.
Loser.
Well, that did not go well. Hi there. Well, that did not go well. That did not go well.
Hi there. Get out of here!
Well, that did not go well. Well, that did not go well.
So there's that one. And before I get on, last one I'll show, and then I will show some more images, talk about my process.
Warning. Daniel Berman will not allow his own 5-year-old son to watch this until he is 35 years old due to violent and suggestive wordplay.
Let's start with some extreme violence.
You're gonna get it! Take that! Oh yeah! Here's an axe for you, and here's a gun! Bang! Ow! Pillow fight!
Keep him in! Ready! 1, 2, 3, 4! I declare a thumb war!
Now for something suggestive. Let's end this thing with something both violent and suggestive.
Hung like a horse.
So only the highest brow is what I do. Trying to make sure that I'm finding you guys. There you are. There you are. So that is kind of, I only got so far with my illustrations. There's not a lot of polish. There's a lot of charm, I would say, in, you know, what I do have there, if I were to say, but my animation skills were limited, and I was self-taught. I could only do so much. I could only animate so well. It was very Adult Swim, choppy, but I mean, it was charming in its own right. Here's an example of what I did in After Effects before I got into AI.
Hey. Where all the girls at with the credit cards and the high heels, the Mercedes Benz with the big wheels, what's up. Yeah, they know what's up. Polo socks, polo tee, polo bed, polo sheets, photo bins, photo jeep, photo booth, hoes of me. She taking photos of me that she carry all around like rosaries.
So I was limited in what my capabilities. So when I do a drawing, I would bring it into Photoshop like this, and I would break everything into its own layers, and then you could parent it. And then I would bring it into After Effects and use Duik when I was doing the 2D traditional animation. And what you just saw is fine. It's cool, I think. It's just not the level that I wanted that to be a choice. And sometimes when I work in AI, I still do go back to that rudimentary, choppy approach. But I think I covered it all, other than my brother, who is in AI, in October of this past year, said, Dan, you need to get into AI. And I had toiled a little bit, but not much. My brother is a AI whisperer and wrangler, David Berman. I don't know if he's on this call, or some of you guys probably know him as well. He does like traditional or like true to life AI, and has a great reel and a great eye, and has always been a champion, except when I was younger and he would kick my ass, but whatever. But he said, give me 15 hours of your time. And I'm busy, I have a family, I have a 5-year-old, and
I'm obvious.
That's my son, by the way. And he said, give me 15 hours of your time. And I said, okay. So we broke it up over, 5 days over the course of 2 or 3 weeks. And he showed me the LLMs. He showed me Sora. He showed me VO, 11 labs, and, a lot of the stuff. It wasn't the most in-depth. I mean, it actually was very in-depth, but obviously there's so much more to cover. And he's been great in that he, updates me a couple hours a week with updates and whatnot of all the different softwares and new softwares that he's been using. So again, I started this in November, and my work has been going viral, which is amazing because I wasn't sharing my art before, for the most part. Matter of fact, as an executive producer at agencies and posts, no one knew that. Very few people knew that I was an illustrator, artist, animator, comedian. So when I started posting in November, my posts were going viral. I was getting people in Malaysia, meeting them. The world kind of like got a little smaller. A lot of people started following me and sending me encouraging messages and getting offers for work. In fact, right now I'm animating for a Hulu show. They have me doing AI animation. It's really silly, asinine animations that I'm making, which is kind of my favorite thing. I like comedy, but mostly I just like people to feel emotions. And I'm actually working on some longer content now that is more emotional than it's actually a kid's story called Once Upon a Twine. So I feel like there was a certain language I didn't understand. I couldn't tell my stories. I couldn't communicate. And AI has given me the ability to express myself, and I love it. So I think, I mean, Al, what am I glossing over? What more can I tell you before opening it to questions, or is there anything else I could show you?
Well, do you have some of your AI animations we could look at?
Sure. I mean, sure. Happy to share. Here is an example of one that Let's try it.
Once upon a time, a little boy named Jack lived with his loving but often busy father in a very big house. Often left to entertain himself, Jack liked to put on puppet shows for his feet and juggle his imaginary handkerchiefs for his adoring stuffed animals. On one particular day, I believe it was a Wednesday's, the puppets all lost their voices. Simultaneously, Jack seemed to have misplaced all his imaginary handkerchiefs, despite how hard he looked. Bored and lonely, sitting on his bed, he looked out his window, wishing for something to happen, when he noticed something strange occurring.
Once upon a twine.
So that was one of the first things that I did. I need to update the character for character consistencies, but you know, that's the main gist. Here's a couple more things.
Gonna get the mail. I got the mail.
The mail. Of course, it's rendering. Actually, let me show it to you as a QuickTime.
I am gonna get the mail. I got the mail.
We are twins. Fraternal, not identical, in case you were curious.
Pillow fight! Take that! Oh yeah! Here's an axe for you, and here's a gun. Bang! Ow!
From the minds that brought you Young Sheldon comes a brand new comedy icon. Get ready for The Adventures of Young Bjorn.
I'd be happy to buy some Girl Scout cookies from your 6-year-old daughter if you wouldn't mind buying some weed or acid from my 14-year-old son.
Are you seriously trying to barter drugs with cookies right now?
Equal opportunity
Makes
entrepreneurship.
Perfect sense to me.
It was a series of unfortunate events that led him to the desert that day, or rather for that string of unforgiving days. He was tormented, hungry, sun-roasted, exhausted.
Please, don't be a mirage.
Sir, no mirage. However, you must don a tie to dine here. Have a good day.
So just weird shit, and I got more of it, and I'm happy to share more, but I don't know if you need to see more or want to see more or anything.
Well, let's take a few minutes to let people talk with you, and then we'll see. We go from there. We got plenty of time left. So, anybody who would like to make a comment or ask a question, please feel free to do so. Glenn, yes.
Oh, great stuff, Daniel.
Thanks, Ben.
I feel like you know me when I was 13 and my age now. So
yeah, I was following you. Yes.
I think I think the answer is going to be yes. But how much does improv play in how you think and how you create your stuff? Because obviously you must be fast as lightning from improv life.
Well, thank you. And it's a great question, and it's a funny question, because AI doesn't always give you what you want or what you think you want. AI is a creative partner, and sometimes it surprises you where you're like, that's stupid as shit. Thank you. That's slop. Or that doesn't make sense. And it misses. But sometimes AI is so funny. It's so unexpected. It's a great improv partner. It yes-ands you. It goes someplace that you don't really know. One thing about improv is when you're doing a scene, you have the intellect of the whole troupe. You know, if I don't know about architecture, but Al does, then I somehow now have architecture and I can lean on him to supply that language. And with AI, it is a comedy writer. Sometimes AI takes me places that I wasn't expecting to go, and sometimes I take AI places it wasn't expected to go or won't go. And sometimes if it does go somewhere that's weird, if I keep on going down that track with AI, it has led me to some really funny places. So I hope that answers your question. But
no, it absolutely does. I'm not surprised at your answer and how you answered it. I feel like you're using it the way you're supposed to use it. Do you know what I mean? I know a lot of the people who reach out to me are using it a little bit more clinically and all that, but I feel like you're using it as a true improv partner, and you're squeezing the best out of it. So good on you. I love what you're doing, and I'm laughing my ass off over here. You can't hear me, but it's great stuff.
Thank you. That's very nice. Thank you.
Eric?
Hey, Daniel. Nice to see you and meet you here. I know we've spoken off in DMs.
Yeah, and I know your daughter.
Yes, you do. Great work. You reminded me of myself tracing cartoons in Mad Magazine when I was young as well. So brought back lots of fun memories. My question is, what do you use to bring your drawings to the various different styles to life in AI?
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming, and hey, Eric. So I use the various LLMs. I've been using ChatGPT and Gemini, and I find they both have their own little idiosyncrasies and are good at supplying different things. But essentially, I will take a drawing that you guys can still see my screen, right?
Not yet.
No. All right, well then I'll share it again. So I'll take the drawing, say this guy, and I'll clean him up, like take him off the paper, maybe clean up some of the lines, and get it to a level of polish or cleanness. Or if I want to even like take away this desk and give him a full body, it's really adept at being able to do that as well. Yeah, so like this, I think I had the lower torso and it gave me in the style of my drawing. And then from there, I just play with styles. I have like, my favorites, but also then I scour the internet or the world and see something that moves me. I generally don't just copy something. I don't like Wallace and Gromit it. I'll like Wallace and Gromit meets, some other strange entity. And then when you have Wallace and Gromit, you have, Claymation, or you have Adult Swim, like Ed, Ed and Eddie meets my art. So now you've got 3 different styles, worlds, and it's interesting to see them meld. And sometimes it's awesome out off the gate and it speaks to me, and other times I have to keep going. But I talk too much. So the answer is ChatGPT or Gemini.
I have a question for you, and that is, have you, in the programs that you're working with, and do you work in Midjourney? And my question is, if you are working in Midjourney, do you, what kind of settings do you use? Like, do you use weird settings, because you've got various levels of weird that you can assign to an image. But I'm just trying to understand how you operate with the programs that you're working with.
Sure. So I've never used Midjourney. I want to. There's a lot of stuff out there, and I've become a creative partner program. I'm in the creative partner program with Imagine Art, which has been really wonderful. And they have a whole suite of the different models. But prior to that, David, primarily taught me and or showed me VO3. Would use Flow, which is a Google product. And, we had in that 15 hours a good amount of time on prompts, on start frame, end frames, on ingredients to video. And it's just recently that I'm getting into some of these other capabilities like lip sync, and some of the shit is so fun, and I haven't really even scratched it. Like I said, I'm working on a Hulu show now, and it's increasing my my understanding of what's possible. And Al, when you talk about Mid-Journey, I want to get into it, and I think it's going to really help just to even allow me to play even further. But I've only been in this since November, essentially. This is how quickly everything has been moving for me. I'm getting, these opportunities and encouragement. No one even knew my name before this. No, I'm just kidding. I just like as an executive producer, they don't turn to you for creativity. They turn to you for organization. And while I'm organized, that's only the smallest part of me. I'm like, kind of been dying inside. So this has been really fun.
That's great. Well, maybe you don't know, I was 4 when I decided I wanted to be an art director in advertising. And shortly after that, the goal was to get to New York. As I tell people, I didn't know what an art director was, but I wanted to do full color spreads in Life magazine. But the reason I mention this is because I don't think there's anything better than being able to work in the field that you enjoy working in, and it seems to me that you're enjoying all these different aspects of Daniel, and I think that's terrific, because it's got to be gratifying. Advances you've been able to make with AI in this short a period of time is really it speaks well for your efforts, and also the intuitive nature of the programs that we're working in. I started in June of 22 working with Mid-Journey version 2. It's been very interesting to watch the progress. Also, in February of 24 is when animation started happening. And it was, like you take a picture and it will take and deform it, and do weird things with it. And in that short of a period of time, we're talking about almost 2 years now, how much advance there's been in video. And, like one of the things I was watching, and I know Glenn and Eric were there yesterday, I think some more of you were as well, watching Chris Branch's show, and he shows a lot of videos every week. And if you're not following that, I recommend it highly. He's on from 11 to 1 o'clock on Thursdays, and he's in London, and the fellow that's on with him is also from London, and they show the latest, greatest videos that are out there. And one of the things they were showing was a show about the making of a video, in which they were showing the process of combining all the different techniques, green screen and converting video, actual footage. This was for this racing movie that Brad Pitt's in. It was showing how they took the footage and converted that into 3D models, and then started animating that and all of the various levels of layering of elements in the production. It was absolutely fascinating, and I would think that you would benefit a great deal from watching them and seeing what other people are doing with video, because it's going just crazy with what the capabilities are. And
what was his name again? I'm sorry.
Chris Branch. Chris Branch. He's in London, and He's been very much involved from the very beginning. He, in fact, was the person who created Coca-Cola big, the big wraparound billboards at Times Square. He did for Coca-Cola way back, and he was so pleased that this happened, and it was in other countries too. But he purposely came to New York so he could stand there and watch his billboard animate, up there. Great guy, very, very knowledgeable, and
that sounds awesome. There's another thing is that because my background is traditional production, and my brother, he's actually a director and a DP in the Union in New York and has shot everything. Him and his business partner have a studio in Yonkers, and they specialize in liquids, tabletop kind of work. But they also do traditional production. And because we all have this AI interest and talent, and they are definitely, can speak fluently in production, there are elements, like you said, where you're taking live action shots and you're integrating the AI. So at the studio, they have started shooting production, especially to go in tandem. So not only are we doing the traditional production, we're also doing AI and then hybrid work, which is, I believe, what you're just kind of speaking to.
Yeah. The other area, and you were talking about lip syncing and everything, and one of the things that people have complained about the AI voices is that they don't have acting ability. They don't have the pausing that an actor would do, or the inflections that an actor would have. And of course they don't have the eye contact, or what the actions are. They're reading a script. And like 11 Labs, you can now program into it, in parentheses, the emotion that you want in it. And I'm sure you could add things like a pause there and things like that to try to heighten the more realistic acting ability of these AI voices.
It's true. While I haven't been doing a ton with lip sync, I can edit the voices, quite well, to give pauses. Performance-wise, I've actually had quite a bit of luck with that. And to speak to VO and performance, and to showcase one more thing, I'd love to share one more video if I may.
Please.
Thank you. So this one is a passion project of mine. It's like a minute or two. It's just the beginning. One of the opportunities that I've gotten is someone has reached out and said, hey, we show films in movie theaters in New York City. So I'm going to have the opportunity in early March to see my work on the big screen, which blows my brain. I just want to show you guys a little bit of the beginning of this project. And let me know if you can't hear the audio, but here we go.
The 1980s were a long time ago, even longer than it seems. One blustery December evening, deep in the South Pole, deep in the South, a suburb outside of Atlanta to be exact, there lived one Jewish 5-year-old boy who felt like an outsider. Everyone he knew celebrated Christmas, his teachers, his friends, and if he had to guess, even his rabbi, or so it felt. While the Hanukkah menorah holds many candles, Hanukkah itself does not hold a single candle when compared to Christmas. Religion aside, Christmas was the clear winner to this young child. Dreidels and potato latkes are great and all, but trees, gifts, candies, and cookies, and of course, Santa Claus, well, who wouldn't want that? On this particular night, this boy found himself with his mother at the local mall, as it happens, just outside of a convincing Santa's village, with Santa himself. The boy was in awe as he asked his mom if he could sit on Santa's lap. His mother looked down at him and said, "Honey, we're Jewish. We don't believe in Santa."
So first off, all of that is, 11 Labs. I was really happy with that performance. As far as the pacing goes, as far as my inspiration for that was Nightmare Before Christmas meets Edward Scissorhands meets, just somebody telling a story. And that's a story that has been a long time I've been wanting to tell. Essentially, the way it pays off or doesn't is when I asked my mom if I could sit on Santa's lap, she said, "Honey, we're Jewish. We don't believe in Santa." And then I threw a tantrum and she said, "Okay, what's the harm?" We waited in line. I finally get on Santa's lap. He asked me if I've been a good boy. I say yes. He asked me my name. I say Danny. He goes, "All right, Danny, what do you want for Christmas?" And I looked at him and said, "Santa, I don't want anything for, Christmas. I'm Jewish." So Santa pulled me close and whispered in my ear, "Me too, kid." And that's when I found out Santa was Jewish. So I went to school the next day. I'm bragging to all my friends. I'm like, "Santa's Jewish. Jesus is Jewish. Adam Sandler's Jewish. You guys have no one." So that was years ago, but cut to about a month ago, I'm on the subway in Brooklyn, and I see this old, fat, Hasidic man sitting on a train, and across from them is a 5-year-old boy, the same age as I was back in the day, with his mom. And the mom's asking, the boy's asking his mom, "Hey, Mom, why is that man so fat? Why is that man so old? Why is his beard so long?" And the mom's horrified. She's trying to, quiet him down. And then the old Jewish man leans across like, "What, you've never seen Santa Claus in person before?" So apparently he's much more religious than when I met him back in the day. And he's going around the world telling 5-year-old boy at a time. So that's that story. So it's just, it's fun to be able to bring it to life. And that's what I'm working on.
That's excellent. Just excellent. And a necessary story. It's really cool. Anybody else have comments or questions, please?
Just a quick question. So do you create the music for all your work with 11 Labs as well, or do you use other programs?
Yeah, no, that was 11 Labs. David, my brother, been telling me about Sona. Is that it?
Yeah.
Which would be so fun too, and I would love to play with it. But no, for that one, that was an 11 Labs. Where, again, Nightmare Before Christmas, Edward Scissorhands, Christmas. I was thinking that I wanted to get this out on LinkedIn right around the holidays, but it's a little too personal for me, and I think I'm not sure what I want to do with it. But yeah, I prompted there.
Suno is good music program and takes direction very well. And you can specify, instruments and everything like that, or voices or whatever. Sometime in the very near future, I want to do a private Zoom call with you and share some of my stuff with you.
I'd love that.
Glenn, yes, go ahead.
Oh, not so much a question, but I just want to thank you for sharing your story. You're one of the first people, or one of the few, that I've met and heard where AI and you have just worked out a wonderful relationship in a way where so many of the other people that I follow, not necessarily on LinkedIn, but all over the world, they're chasing each other. And I feel like you're in your own lane, so to speak. You know what I mean? So I just admire that. And I can't wait to see what else you're going to do.
Me too, but thank you. It's definitely fun. Like, I'm on LinkedIn and I'm seeing all these really creative people that are inspiring me. But like you said, I'm not competing. I want to be able to eat and feed my family. Right now, when I do executive producer work, I'm making significantly more than I do when I'm making AI. And quite frankly, I'll probably work my way back to an EP position just for the finances. Although now agencies are reaching out to me because they're learning that I am this hybrid guy. So who knows, maybe I'll be doing the animation and post with the content creation, or at least having the AI capabilities. I mean, I've been doing it for so long, working with all these amazing animation houses, traditional animation houses, for all of these years. I mean, I did it so I could look at their After Effects project files, so I could look at their work. I mean, I've been dissecting their shit for so long. So, thanks, Glenn.
Your original style, which I guess you have to say is like Grandma Moses is it's an untrained style, but it has, like you were saying, it has a real charm about it, and I can see how that kind of style would be very attractive to Saturday Night Live or various other programs that would even music videos or whatever. I mean, it's another area that you could get into. And I just think that I wouldn't lose that. I mean, you still you're keeping the big eyes. I see that, but you are establishing an AI style, which is very interesting. So
I would just add it's a very honest style. There's an honesty to his work, I think.
Yes, I agree. And I guess part of that honesty is the personal aspects of it. You're expressing who you are, and you have training in that through the improv background and everything like that. But the thing is that I have always enjoyed the business that I'm in, because I can say, see this, I did this. This is me. This is who I am. And you're doing exactly that. You're have good reason to be proud of what you're doing, my friend. Well, we're getting close to the end. Eric, anybody else, anything else you want to add before I go into what's coming? Well,
hey, I had a quick comment.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Love your work. And what's interesting is when you're mentioning your earlier influences like Mad Magazine, I used to consume that voraciously as a kid, and I haven't thought about it in I don't know how many years. I'm 63, and I haven't even thought about magazine, and that it's back there and buried in my brain, and I'm sure it influences me. That in a National Lampoon magazine. And I would buy them as a kid at the convenience store with my meager allowance, and I had maybe a day to urgently consume them before my mom would find them and throw them out. And so I didn't quite have the support of parents in that regard. My best friend and I would watch Monty Python, and I particularly like Terry Gilliam's stop motion. And his mom, she would allow us to watch the stuff, but would declare that this stuff is warping our minds, and maybe in retrospect, I'm grateful for that. And Benny Hill was another one, which all this kind of came up as you started describing everything. So I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate the work you're doing. I'm going to find you on LinkedIn. I already found your YouTube channel just now as well. So thank you very much for your presentation.
That's so nice, and kindred spirit for sure. Yeah, just that oddball shit, Kids in the Hall sketch, are driving forces for sure. And just to make it a little easier for anybody trying to find me on the LinkedIn, if you look in our chat right here, you go, and then I'm going to put Daniel Berman produces.com, which is a website that has a lot of my shit. But yeah, cool. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Well, again, Daniel, delighted that you were able to join us today. Let me go over what's coming up, because we're getting booked up well in advance. It's very interesting that I'm probably have all of February booked already. But next week, another Daniel Romano is going to join us. This is a fellow who's in Israel, and because of our time of when we're recording, it's the Sabbath there, and so he was not able to join us live. So Glenn and Eric and I interviewed him last week, and oh man, what a tremendous interview that was. Just filled with knowledge and wisdom. The four of us really, had a very great ongoing conversation. But the other thing is Daniel does wonderful expressing of emotion in the things that he does. And, we were talking about voiceovers and AI voices. Daniel likes to do his own narration because he feels he can't get an AI voice to express the kind of emotion that he wants to express. He says, when I'm doing other voices like Cleopatra, of course I'm using an AI voice, but he is really doing his own narration and a number of things, and beautiful work. So that's next week. The following week is January 30th, and that is going to be the show and discuss everybody's participation in the Big Al's Big AI Challenge for January, which was Fusion. And what I've decided to do also, since that is the end of the month when I'm doing that, I will also introduce the February challenge at that event before I post about it on LinkedIn. So next month is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing what people are doing with that. February 6th, Alexandria Garcia Brillenborn is the gal who does all of the fantastic alphabets, that has been doing that from the very beginning. She started back when I did, and she used to push Midjourney 3 to try to do things that it just didn't have any idea of how to do it. And anyway, she has been doing this all this time, and now she's doing animations of alphabets and things. So I've asked her to join us and give us a history of her work, and that should be very interesting and exciting. I'm just announcing this now. On February 13th, Christian Ortiz is going to join us. Christian is originally from Mexico, lives in Denver, Colorado, and has invented a chat program called Justice AI, GPT, and that is being used by various organizations, hospitals, businesses, schools, to evaluate their any flaws that they might have in their fairness and equality type of relationships with both people they're serving as well as their staff. And because of where we have been in these current events, we are going to discuss that, but we're also going to be having a very heart-to-heart talk about our role in trying to bring about equality and justice for everybody. So that's going to be that discussion. I don't have final confirmation yet, but our good friend Margarita from Portugal is talking to me about getting a group from the AICC group and a team that's been working on a new software that they've been experimenting with, and they're going to be doing a demonstration of that hopefully on the 23rd of February. And then, of course, the end of February, will be the looking at everybody's work and their thoughts on doing the February Big Al, Big AI Challenge. So got a full calendar up ahead. Anybody want to be on in March? Let me know. I'll be glad to see what we can do to arrange things. So anyway, thank you everybody for showing up, and from people that are here from all over the place, and I some of them have dropped off now, but we have such a great group of people that are always getting involved with this, and I really appreciate that, and I'm glad that we've had a chance to have you, Daniel, get to get acquainted with some of these people and them get acquainted with you. So thanks again for this today, and thank you everybody for coming. I'm going
Thank you for having me, and it's great to meet all of you, and please reach out to me on the LinkedIns so I can just be connected. Thanks, Al.